Whittward Carver presents Inspector Blunderbuss and the Phantom Feather Fiasco. The fog clung to Ravenscroft Manor like a clingy aunt at a funeral, thick enough to slice and serve with clotted cream. Inspector Ignatius Brassard, known to friend and foe alike as Blunderbuss, stood in the grand foyer, his trenchcoat dripping disdain onto the Persian rug. Beside him, Sergeant Percival Honeywell, Bumblebee to those who'd endured his theories, vibrated with the energy of a hummingbird on a sugar binge. "Sir?" Bumblebee brandished a magnifying glass the size of a soup tureen. "I've deduced the culprit. It's spectral intervention." He gestured wildly at the ceiling, where a chandelier swayed ominously. "The ghost of Lady Ermintrude. She's finally exacted revenge for being left out of the will." Blunderbuss massaged his temples, where a headache pulsed like a bad vaudeville drum solo. The crime in question? The disappearance of the Ravenscroft heirloom, a gaudy emerald necklace last seen adorning the neck of Lady Agatha Ravenscroft during a séance. The lady herself now sprawled on a divan, fanning herself with a taxidermied peacock feather, wailing, "It was her!" Ermintrude always hated my table settings. The suspects loomed like poorly staged opera extras. 1. Madame Zora, the medium, a woman draped in enough velvet to upholster a hearse, her eyes rolling back as she channeled to the other side, which Blunderbuss noted smelled suspiciously of gin. 2. Professor Thaddeus Quill, a skeptic with a beard like a startled hedgehog, who'd spent the evening debunking Zora's ectoplasmic emanations by yelling preposterous at inopportune moments. 3. Bartholomew Ravenscroft, the nephew, a dandy whose cravat alone could fund a small nation, nervously stroking a parrot named Reginald. 4th, Mrs. Priggle, the housekeeper whose glare could curdle custard, clutching a feather duster like a broadsword. "Bumblebee," Blunderbuss growled. "The only thing spectral here is your grasp of logic. The necklace was nicked by flesh and blood. Find the bird." "Reginald?" Bumblebee gasped. "But he's patriotic." The parrot perched on Bartholomew's shoulder squawked, "Pip, pip, cheerio, thieving wanker." Interviews unfolded with the grace of a drunken quadrille. Madame Zora accused the professor of vibrational sabotage. The professor retorted that Zora's spirit guide was a flea-ridden raccoon. Mrs. Priggle confessed to stealing marmalade, while Bartholomew sweated through his waistcoat, muttering about unfortunate investments. The case veered into lunacy when Bumblebee, chasing a ghostly orb, a moth, collided with a suit of armour. A hidden compartment clattered open, revealing a stash of forged railway stocks. "Financial spectres," Bumblebee crowed. Blunderbuss ignored him, zeroing in on Reginald. The parrot's beak glinted with something. Bumblebee restrained the bird. "But sir, he's a national treasure. He's a kleptomaniac with plumage." A struggle ensued. Reginald dive-bombed Bumblebee, shrieking, "Tax evasion!" before regurgitating a glistening emerald into the inspector's palm. "The heirloom," Lady Agatha swooned. "Half the heirloom," Blunderbuss corrected, holding up the stone. "The setting's fake, paste and pewter." Silence. Then, "Aha!" Professor Quill lunged at Madame Zora. "You swapped it to fake a haunting." "Moi?" Zora gasped. "You wanted to discredit my art." Bartholomew, now chartreuse, blurted, "I needed liquidity." Mrs. Priggle whacked them all with her duster. Blunderbuss exhaled a smoke ring shaped like a question mark. "The parrot's just the courier. You," he pointed at Bartholomew, "stole the real necklace to pawn. You," a nod to Zora, "planted the fake to haunt the professor. But you," he turned to Mrs. Priggle, "knew, and blackmailed them both." The housekeeper grinned, a sight more chilling than Ermintrude's ghost. "I, for a pension, as Inspector Thistlethwaite of Scotland Yard, and his perpetually baffled constables hauled the culprits away." Bumblebee frowned. "But why train the parrot, sir?" Blunderbuss eyed Reginald, now pecking at Quill's beard. "Because someone wrote a blank cheque to a bird with a taste for shiny things, and because British crime deserves British theatrics. Whittward Carver says, a bobby's helmet and a fool's errand often shade the same bald truth. Mind the crumbs, and the clotted cream."